I'm drinking coffee right now. I'm pull my
I'm,
list up on my telephone.
yeah, I'm trying not to drink so much coffee, so I've been chugging all day long.
Mm.
I didn't come up with a catchy little commercial. We all need to come up with stuff, so you guys have been enlisted to help come up with funny ideas for our little opening skit.
This week's episode of Casey Travels America is being canceled. But you're going to get to listen to For Music Lovers Only.
Welcome to For Music Lovers Only, a podcast where each host makes a top 5 list of their favorite songs from this week's topic. Each week is a new topic. Tune in, I dare you. Music Lovers Only.
What is up, everybody? For Music Lovers Only, episode 52. We're going to talk hip hop. Got Coach and Sontia joining me.
What's up?
And, yeah,
What up,
it's gonna be a
dog?
fun time. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing okay.
I'm kind of, I'm in fight or flight mode still. I'll be honest with you, but
Fresh off the road. What 90 miles an hour from Salina? I mean, if any cops are
from
watching,
Manhattan to here, yeah. If any cops are watching and I
yeah.
passed you, you
Yeah.
got to prove it was me. If you didn't get my tag, it wasn't me.
totally not speeding.
It's weird because I don't speed anymore hardly, and I just said, I felt like doing it, and even but my two sides were going like it got my adrenaline going, which is awesome because I haven't been going in a long time, but I had my anxiety at a high, so like it was like whoa. It's fun.
And that's why we're coming on a little late, but hey, we're loosey goosey. We do what we got to do. It wouldn't have been a show without you, Coach. So
Thank you.
We're more than glad to wait a few minutes. I know Sontia was rocking out last night at the old Barleycorns, the legendary Barleycorns. We got to get the legendary Barleycorns.
Yeah, with Sunset Motel Returns, which I got voted in to be able to play, so that was real cool.
Yeah, I seen that. That was awesome. That was good stuff.
So I
Definitely
never
well
really
deserved. You're
So-
a rock star.
I won the best thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Casey probably didn't see it since he was driving, but I went over the storage unit to try to get stuff ready for Art Assault return tomorrow. I'm going to invade Coach's space, and so I was trying to find the banners that we were talking about. I've got one, but not the one I wanted. Cannot find this box anywhere. I've hunted, but the kid had a huge tub of Legos, and I was trying to move something, and I mean, literally, 10,000 Legos hitting the concrete.
So you were almost late too because you were building stuff. You're like, I gotta build. It's easier to build something when you're picking them up than to just pick them up.
Like Lego Batman.
I didn't help but laugh. I cussed a little bit, but then I was like, this is what we're doing right now, I guess.
I hate Legos.
Delayed a little bit. Delayed the.
Oh, my feet still hurt just thinking about Legos, man.
Oh.
Definitely from the devil, those Legos.
I've stepped on many Legos.
Oh, yeah.
But I did a little research last night on Today in Music. I think I'm going to try to start doing that on every Saturday, just to additional little, hey, look at us kind of thing. But
tidbits.
Yeah. In 1987, John Lennon and Paul McCartney got inducted to the Songwriting Hall of Fame. Yay. Biggie Smalls was gunned down in L.A. this day in 97.
Ooh.
That's ironic that we're doing, 90s hip hop too.
Yes. That's kind of why I thought that one was definitely made the list of stories to talk about. And then Chris Ledoux, 2005, died from liver disease, 56 years old. And then, we don't need much of a reason to talk about Britney.
Girl.
She started in 2009. After a 5-year hiatus, she kicked off her circus tour. And I'm sure that was a circus because that was like right before she went like full on complete nuts and got everything taken away from her, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Circus tour was insane from what I remember. Like Britney Spears was the queen of the world. And then she shaved her head and hit some stuff with an umbrella one day and everybody just went crazy. Like, have you never been that upset? I have.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to do that daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about shaving my head and hitting stuff daily.
Yeah. Yep. Every day.
That was
not
my
so
one
much for me.
chance at her, though. That was my one chance at her low point where I might have had a chance of getting her.
Yeah.
You can get her now, man. She does not have standards, from what I can tell.
Oh,
Well, I think she's married, and I think she's married. I don't know how happily married, but I'm pretty sure
she
she's
got
married.
divorced.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
Keep it up on that.
He was like 11 years younger than her, and that would get annoying immediately. I feel like.
Oh,
yeah, he took part of her money and got out.
Maybe. He's like an underwear model or something. He's pretty. I was like, oh man, you can't just marry him because he's pretty.
Ashton Kutcher.
Well, you could.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but when the conversation, when the sex runs out and there's no conversation, that's when it gets tough.
That's when you get separate beds, like in the 20s. They had something.
My mom listens to that song. But yeah, we're gonna talk 90s hip hop, and it was a very tough list just because, I mean, 90s really came. The 90s was a great decade for hip hop. I mean, it
for all music. We were driving in the car on the way today, and that was literally the era of music, in my opinion. I mean, 60s and 90s were the two eras of music for me.
Yeah, yeah. I would say definitely better. And I mean, we're probably biased because we grew up and we were young and impressionable during that time. But most of the music that was made still rings true today, or still has as much punch and power as it did then.
Yeah, it was message oriented. The 90s were more about uplifting and building than just partying and whatever was going on in the 80s.
And Hollywood played a huge part of it. There were several movies soundtracks that I could have just picked that movie soundtrack, and that could have been my entire list. I mean, because it was so good. I ain't gonna mention anything right now because we're gonna save the honorable mentions to the end, just so we don't take anybody's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I say, Coach, if you got that spinner handy.
That's what I was looking for. If you seen me scrambling around here, I redid the studio, so I was trying to find it. All right.
You paint it like silver, like a rim.
I'll come up with something eventually. But it's kind of funny that it's just the plate.
We're spinning.
All right.
Strike one.
Hey.
Coach.
I went first last time. All right.
I thought I went first last time.
Oh, you did go first last time. That's right. That's right. All right. This was I probably had a completely different list to start, and then as we drove in the car to today on there and the way back, we did 90s hip hop. So some new songs made the list that you either didn't think about or and then they drove a big memory. So my first one is Beastie Boys Intergalactic. And there's probably 3 or 4 that I could, but that was the one that just, I don't know, man. Brooklyn. I mean, there's a lot of them, but that was the one that kind of, when it came on today, I had Brooklyn on, No Sleep Till Brooklyn on there. Sorry if I took anybody else's. I shouldn't have done that. But I just had to go with that one and just get you up and going. So
that's not your official answer. So
that's true.
Intergalactic, I like it, but it's my least favorite Beastie Boys song.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know why it just, like I said, we were listening to it today. Like I said, there was plenty of other Beastie Boys, like I said, that obviously I loved and all that, but there's something about it. I think it's the memories. It was somebody that it was with. That's kind of every one of these had a memory of somebody that I listened to it with, and we over listened to. It wasn't even necessarily my favorite. It was most listened to, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
And I used to ride to Probation with somebody. We had the same day because we could only get cars, and for some reason we listened to that song, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I only had one tape in my dad's car that would work, and it was a mixtape, and it was Beastie Boys, and
at least it was good.
Play on a loop. So my number 4 was Eminem, Guilty Conscience.
Oh,
Same thing. Not really my favorite Eminem song, but something about it it just I don't know. It's just a whole different kind of a rap song, I guess, is how to say it. And it was dark and evil. And but then, like I said, it was, even as a kid, it was kind of that same thing. You had 2 dudes telling you, oh, don't go do this, don't do this, don't do this. And then by the end, they both just said, smoke it and drink it and let's go do it.
Yeah, well, the concept, the angel and the devil on your shoulder. I mean, we've seen that in cartoons growing up, quite often.
Everywhere.
Yeah, quite often.
That's life, man. Like, just go shave your head and hit something with an umbrella. No, don't do it.
Brittany, bitch.
It's pointed. There you go. That's a segue, I think we call it in the industry. 3 was probably, I don't know, my favorite. Anyways, Cream Wu-Tang, and it was probably the most popular song that's on my list. The most that is a top 5 or 10 probably on anybody's hip hop from the 90s list because what it did, where it was. I mean, a lot of the lists I looked at, it was 1, 2, 3. It was already on my list, and I'm like, well, how high is it? And you're like, oh, it's 2, it's 3. It's a big song. So
how high? Did you do that on purpose, Casey?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
My number 2, and this was one that was that same thing. Like I had a Jay-Z CD and all the other songs messed up. So this was the only song that would play, and it still skipped a little bit, but man, it was the way this song started and the way it hit and made you feel. Do it again. You got 3 minutes or whatever, 5 seconds to get your stuff and get out the club, and just the way it hits, and that's that ultimate clubbing song. Laying around at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, listen to that.
Man.
So that's probably my favorite. Well, it is my favorite Jay-Z song. We listened to a bunch of Jay-Z today. That was on the 90s hip hop on Spotify. There was a lot of Jay-Z. And then my number 1, again, probably not even wouldn't have made a lot of people's lists. A great song, but it was one that just me and Billy Schaefer used to listen to 4,000 or 5,000 times. I mean, that and Satellite. I don't know what, but it's West Side Connection, Bow Down.
That's a good
and that was on that one. I said, something, and then it's like Casey Grundon because he's greater than you. Instead of, every time it would come, I'd sing that. So that was my list.
Good list.
Yeah, that's a good list. Yeah,
there were so many that.
Yeah, it was.
I have 15 other written down.
Yeah.
I mean,
there were so many that it was. I didn't think we would have too much crossing over. So far, he hadn't got any of mine. Did he get any of yours, Sontia?
He didn't get any of mine.
I didn't figure because mine are obscure. I could have went with the big ones. I mean, I listened to everything from there, but those are just those ones. We all have our weird songs.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Not weird. Only Intergalactic was the only one you guys made fun of.
I didn't make fun of it. I love the Beastie Boys, and I like it. It's just my least favorite Beastie Boys. I wasn't putting it down.
Yeah, I worked at a restaurant. And we had a jukebox, and that was the only song that anybody would play. And when I first heard it, I was like, man, this is a cool song. And then after I was done working there, I was like, I never want to hear that song.
Sure that just wasn't the radio?
Like when you brought it up, I started having PTSD. I was like, oh my God, no, don't make it. I can't take it anymore.
But see, I think that's what it was. These were the ones that maybe weren't even the favorite. I just heard the most that were on repeat in my head,
Yeah.
All right. Who's next? We'll find out.
Center of Doom.
Who's it gonna be?
It'll be me again.
You again.
I think it's rigged, but that one we're giving to Josh.
Yeah.
Oh. All
That's
right.
rigged.
Okay, we're gonna wait. So my number 5, like I said, it was 1990. I was like 11.
Aw.
And
You weren't 11 and 9. Yeah, I guess you would have been. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 11.
Cute little Josh and with his long hair. Would you have long hair then too?
Oh God, no. Mom wouldn't let me. But I was listening to a lot of music was part of it, but I really didn't start buying my own music till about then, because I remember buying the Vanilla Ice to the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, of course, I loved Ice Ice Baby, but that's the one that was it was Hooked. Bow, 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 bow. I mean, that one really spoke to me. Just the concept. He's hooked on a girl.
Wasn't that movie, or wasn't that song in that movie, that terrible movie he made? Well, it wasn't terrible, actually. It was
To the Extreme was the name of the movie, I think, or it was Cold as Ice.
Yeah,
Cold
that's
as
what
Ice.
it
There
was.
you go.
Yeah.
Drop that zero and get with the hero.
It probably was, because I think he had that. The Cold as Ice was his second album, so he didn't have too big of a repertoire. So, but yeah, that one just really kind of got me into to hip hop, and he did it before Eminem. I mean, Eminem can talk smack on Vanilla Ice, but Vanilla Ice was there first. Sorry.
And he did a good job. I liked Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, just because
he got popular to like Vanilla Ice, but I bumped him. But that was.
So my number 4. This one takes me back to middle school. Tag Team Whoop, there it is, and that one just was, I mean, that one really. I could sing the entire song. That was the first one I learned from front to back. I can't do it. I can't think of it now, but.
Oh, if it was going, we could both. But that was the skating rink song for me, man. That would come on when you were at the skating rink. Oh man, you were getting it.
Yeah, middle school dances for me. That's where I didn't do much skating, so no skating.
You guys remember the controversy because there was one group that had Whoop, there it was, and then there was another group that had Whooped, there it is, and then was an actual battle as to who wrote the song first. And it sounded like the same song. Like it was the same song.
Well, that's why I said somebody said probably else wrote it, and they both got a hold of it through their, people or whatever. And but that's where they did the pants backwards shirt. That's what sold it, Or no, I guess that was crisscross.
Yeah, I was like, what? Somebody else is doing that.
Maybe Inside Out. Weren't they wearing Inside Out clothes? And that was
like some weird stuff. I know.
I don't know. That was weird.
So. Number 3, and again, it was so hard because all the artists Casey would have mentioned would have been on my list too because I bumped them and loved them.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, Outkast from the minute I heard him, and Fresh and Clean, so Fresh and So Clean.
Okay.
Safe, I know.
Well,
but, I've always loved Outkast, and it's just brilliant. I've tried to give the Flute album for Andre a chance. Haven't made it all the way through, but
you got to be on much. You got to be tripping.
It probably, and I'd make it right through it. But
oh yeah, you'll get through it.
And then number 2, and this guy came out, and it was just insane. Like I said, I was watching the video, and it's got homage to Coming to America, but Busta Rhymes, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See.
Oh man,
and that was just wild in your face, and I was watching an interview of him pretty recently, and he had some wild name before, like 2 names before he went with Busta Rhymes, and they were horrible. He was talking about that, but he's talking about how people looked at him kind of crazy because of how he acted.
Yeah.
Like,
him, Timberland, and Twista, the way they rapped. I don't know if there'll ever be rappers that do it like that. The speed and the fluidity and. I mean, just was freaky.
You got to get 9 in there. You got to get Tech.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was listening to him yesterday with some Dirty Heads.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's done a song with a lot of people. Corey Taylor, Rock.
Yep.
I mean, anything. Okay, so number 1, drum roll. I need to get a little drum roll machine. Regulate, Warren G, Nate Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
That song. I mean, I loved Wild Guns, and that's Regulators Mount Up. So that's always been a good song, and it just sets the mood. Like I said, there was a lot. Like I said, there was a lot I want. I'm like, can we make the list 15?
We could do a month episode on 90s hip hop. We could do a 4-part episode easy.
Yeah,
and maybe still not cross any songs over.
Are we still? Are we still crossed off free?
We're crossed off free. You got
a band.
Couple of artists.
Okay.
You didn't get the songs, man. But speaking of like Busta Rhymes, I was yesterday at Sunset Motel. There were 2 artists. There was Seuss Mace, and then there was Alan Wayne. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about like the quickness and the fluidity. Those 2. Bam, like they do it. So I know there's a lot of art. There's so many artists that just aren't known that are incredible.
Yes.
And it's like Busta Rhymes, from what I understand, wasn't even trying to be a rapper. He was like trying to be a break dancer or something weird. The last interview that I looked, and I was like, yeah, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
I just remember him when he started getting all ripped and shirt off and and I mean,
it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's like Matthew McConaughey in that dragon movie, Reign of Fire. Like he comes up and he's like, ah, and I was like, And somebody, I didn't even know it was him. Somebody was like, that's Matthew McConaughey. And I was like, oh, wow. What happened? Who fed him?
I've seen that movie.
You hated Rain of Fire?
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, it's a dragon movie. Like, it's not, woo. But, I mean, if you're bored on an afternoon, it's a good movie to watch.
Yeah, I'll look for
popcorn, watch some people die, you know. The huge.
The huge.
Well, I guess it's my turn. You want to spin the wheel anyways, just to see if the universe is going to pick me?
Boom.
It's magic.
It's magic. I'm not clicking any. I'm not going to earn you myself today. I'm not feeling that brave, so.
All right. So I had to pick hip hop songs that meant something personal to me because there's too many.
Yeah.
And I always want to get the ones that people will be like, oh my God, that's like the right thing to pick. But I didn't. I picked the ones that I wanted. So when I was 10, I think, no, it was 1990. So I was 11 too. I didn't know we were like the same age.
79.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I went to some sort of thing for disadvantaged children, which I didn't want to go to because I didn't think I was disadvantaged and I thought it was stupid. And you got picked by a firefighter and they'd bring you like a Christmas present. You got to see a magic show or whatever. And he gave me this tape, this Walkman, and he gave me a recorded CD of MC Hammer's Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him. This was in 1990. MC Hammer just came out. And there was a song on that I listened to 8 zillion times called Dancing Machine.
Yep. And
it sampled part of Dancing Machine, but oh my God, it was such a fun song out of all of it because MC Hammer was messaging, but he was killing it all the whole 90s. He was killing it for so long. But Dancing Machine,
we listened to like 4 or 5 MC Hammer songs a day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I figured it was either Vanilla or MC Hammer was the first tape I bought.
Yeah.
I figured that because that's, my parents would get me music every, doo-wop and, older songs.
Oh, yeah.
Every Christmas we got a CD, or not a CD, a tape at the time because we had the tape players that you walked around with.
Mm-hmm.
Walkmans.
I called a CD player a Walkman, and I about got crucified on the internet. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up.
I don't know. I've always I liked Walkmans better because cassette tapes don't skip.
Mm-hmm.
They'll bust. They'll wind up. That's the first one. And I just went in order, like by year. So this is 1990. 1992, Arrested Development came out with a song called Mr. Wendell.
Oh man,
that whole album.
Heard that on the radio, and that was one of the first songs. It reminded me of that Chris Cornell song, Spoon Man.
Yeah.
They just knew a guy, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna write a song about you."
Yeah. Yeah, I loved them. That was,
I think, was dumb.
Yeah.
That was up there too. My parents probably were wondering because that was definitely wasn't gangster rap. It was like I said, it had a message. It was a positive message. The song where he was taking the girl out and was fighting and got into a fight in the park or something with somebody. I can't remember. That one really, really hit me. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'll find it and send it after here. But yeah, good album. Very good album.
Yeah. All right. 1993, Salt and Pepper, Shoop.
Mm-hmm.
I was not allowed to listen to that song, but I did.
Yeah.
And my cousins would always play the music in their cars that I wasn't able to listen to. So that one stayed on repeat for a minute. And then as I got older, I was like, man, y'all shouldn't have let me listen to that song. I really didn't know what they were talking about.
Look what you did to me.
That's crazy. They used to play that at dances and all that too, And I don't think nobody knew what it really meant,
I'm not
fooled
the
white people for a while.
Children. You're not asking for anything but Jesus.
Yes.
All right. Let me see. 96. This is my Busta Rhymes.
Ooh.
so I got in cable, and I had it was Yo MTV Raps on, and then Busta Rhymes comes out talking about some woo-ha, got you all in check. And I was like, what in the world is going on in this video? Who is this man? And everybody's all close to the camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what are you doing right there in my face? And the reps and the effects that make you break your neck. Woo! Ah, got you all in check. And I was like, man, I want to be a rapper now. Me and my homegirl started a band called Fresh. But you got to say it like this. You got to go, Fresh.
Fresh.
Lasted for 2 weeks.
Well, that's longer than most bands lasted back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And then my last one, this was 96. My last one was an Outkast song, 1998, Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And that was just, it is such a groove. It's groovy. It's fun. It has a message. And it was really my first exposure to Outkast, which I think that's in 98 is when they kind of got more publicized.
Yeah,
I would say in 98 because they've been around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, they made just completely different kind of music than anything that was out there, and just smooth and just different. I mean, they mix of sing and rap, and they were just completely different than anything that was out there. It wasn't gangster. It wasn't, they had some gangster stuff, but it wasn't, I don't know. It was just completely different, especially when they started.
Right. Right.
Made you think.
Yeah, it did.
Made you think about what was going on.
Well, my number one honorable mention, since we didn't get no Bone Thugs and Harmony in here, was First of the Month.
Yeah.
That was another, and there was a lot of Bone, but that was another. Me and Josh Bain, man, we used to listen. That was all we listened to, and he had that. He had a Blazer, and he had like a 15 in the back. And Bone just hit so freaking hard, and we just
love of money.
So we could blow out. We were trying to blow out the windows, man. Just boom, boom, boom.
Like I said, Cypress Hill, Insane the Membrane, that one got me. House of Pain, like I said, anything Tupac, I mean, Me Against the World was the one that
Keep Your Head Up was one of the ones that like just was kind of that positive, song with everything going on that kind of shed a light to why some of the music he was making was the music he was making. That was one of the first songs that like went into his soul, and it wasn't just, I mean, that was like the poet started coming. I mean, I don't know, started, he was always a poet, but that was where it wasn't just, I don't know.
Yeah, Dear Mama was mine.
Yeah.
For Tupac, and I tried to get my grandmother to listen to it. She's like, get this out of my and I was like,
I hope that you can understand. It explains so much. It's another one of those songs that tries to explain exactly why he did what he did. I did have some Puff and Biggie, Mo Money, Mo Problems. Because I don't really like Puff no more. I mean, he's just turned into a clown or whatever. But he was a huge part of the 90s. I mean,
definitely.
Him and Biggie both. But I mean, it was Puff. I was into Puff more than Biggie at first, I mean, Puff was the shit, or P. Diddy, or whatever the hell he was going by. I think it was Puff Daddy then, but
I want you to know off camera, I'm flashing West Side because the way I am. I ain't trying to get flagged for anything. Mine was, I think Two Live Crew was the very first rap hip hop I'd listened to. And it was just the raunchiest, I mean, Doo-Wah Diddy was the one, but that was 88.
Oh, man.
I mean, they're 90 and 90. They had Banned in the USA, and I appreciate that one now. Now that cancel culture is upon us, it's like, yeah, I'm banned too. Cool.
It's over.
Me and Two Live Crew. What's up, my man?
My first ever rap I think I was ever exposed to was a rap group called Lighter Shade of Brown, and they were a Mexican group, and there was a song called A Sunday Afternoon. And
I heard that recently,
dude, it's something about that. And I was, I don't remember, how old I was. And then it was probably Paperboy was probably my next one. Do the ditty if you want to, cause then I could see if I mean, dude, I had, that was like a tape. And I remember I had the recorder, that little brown thing you close on and you could record over it and do that. And I mean, I just walk around. That was like my first boom box. I walk around doing the ditty ditty if you want to. I thought it was the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can't forget Naughty by Nature.
Oh, yeah.
You down with OPP?
I'm not down with OPP.
You know me.
I like what was the other one?
Well, I don't know, but House of Pain. I mean, there were so many. What
was the Naughty by Nature's other song? The one.
Naughty by Nature, not because I hate you. No, that's still OPP. Yeah. Oh my God.
All right. We got to solve this real quick.
Nobody's there. OPP was their obviously biggest. Everything gonna be all right. Hip Hop Hooray. There we go.
Hip Hop Hooray. That was the big one. And again, I don't. Are they like boo cheating? No, I think it's pro cheat. I'm gonna screw everybody. I think that's the song. I mean,
OPP is more like irresponsible sexual behavior.
Yeah, I don't care if you're with him. I'm gonna.
Else's.
Yeah, but that was still. I just remember other people's property. Everybody's like, "You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me." House of Pain, Jump. I mean, there was, like I said, I was obviously Cypress Hill just because things I may have done back then, were a huge. I mean, Cypress Hill might have been in my CD player at one point for 5 months straight.
Yeah. Well, I was just confused. I didn't know if OPP was a good or bad thing, so it wasn't my favorite song. Hip Hop Hooray was. Just
all those videos made it hard to not like him because everybody in there was there's 1,000 people in that video, both the ones you just named, but they're having fun. Other people's property. I mean, they're just everybody's around just getting down. It's like, man, other people's property must be cool.
Like a good thing. Yeah, I don't know.
But I remember when MC Hammer tried to get nasty and he did Pumps in the Bump.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And he was sitting there in that Speedo, and I was, oh my God. So I was sitting there at the TV looking like this. And then my grandma comes to the bedroom and comes out of the bedroom and she's like, turn that off. And I was like, it's MC Hammer, Grandma. And she's like, what is he doing? And I was like, he's doing the Pumps in the Bump, Grandma. It's just MC Hammer. She said, turn it off.
He'll go to church Sunday and it'll be all right.
Too legit.
What is going on?
All right.
It's there for everybody though.
So you played last night. You got anything going on tonight, Sontia? Yeah.
I have to clean my house because I'm going to cook dinner for my family tomorrow.
Oh boy!
And I was supposed to do that earlier, but I went to sleep. I got a show coming up at Kirby's on March the 17th with King Ropes, and then I will be with Witch Cradle on the 22nd at Kirby. So
nice.
I'm working. I'm out here working.
Thanks, Jana. Thank you. Definitely playlist. Like I said, I'm like very close to 200 subscribers on the YouTube, so go check that out and subscribe. I think 300, and I mean, still don't got the hours, but 300 is the milestone to take YouTube to the next level.
Okay.
So I'm almost there.
Let's go grow that.
Yeah, let's go grow that. Check out Middle of the Road podcast.
No schedule right now. We're just doing a show. They're coming out. I got some old ones I just released last night, an interview I did with that guy in Atlanta, Gus Glasser. So we did that. It's been almost a month ago I did it, but I had some audio and video problems and released it, and it came out awesome. I mean, the video's not good. It was a weird interview. He ended up interviewing me most of the interview. It was awesome. I mean, it's cool. I mean, that's how it's crazy. That's what kind of guy he is, though. He wants to know about you. Yeah. And that's awesome. I mean, he's a young dude trying to learn. So go check him out. And then, I may do a show tomorrow morning. We've been doing, last week we did a 10 a.m. Sunday morning show because my co-host is on the road now and he's in town on the weekends. Yeah. So before he leaves town on Sunday, come by, do a show. Try to be funny. It's hard to drink at 10 a.m. on a Sunday, but I do it, You can
make it work. Anything's possible with the Lord.
Just don't shoot me when I come rolling up at 5 and coming in.
I won't shoot you. You're welcome. Anybody, bring some friends. Oh.
Yeah, Kevin and I. It's been 2 months since Art Assault, so I'm a little nervous just because all new equipment, all new setup, and I try run it kind of in the garage, and I think it'll be fine.
Okay,
we're gonna see what it is. Got the gal from 310 Art House. She's our guest, and it'll be fun. Make a little connection with with some galleries. I think that's kind of where I want to take it. I've got a good concept sketch of what we're going to do.
I'd like you to have my buddy Stevie V on from Wyoming. He's done some art for me, and he's does a podcast, 3 Wheel Bicycle podcast, but he's a spray paint artist. And just does a bunch of cool stuff and stencils and just does some, just different stuff. And he's a pretty cool dude. So good networking. And so
set it up. I think April, March is the only one we're going to do because we got St. Patrick's Day. Kevin's going to be out of town. I'm going to be at Mo Pigs, and then Easter. So I think April, whatever the first Sunday is, April is when we'll be back after that. So that'll give us some time. So if you want to set that up, well, hell yeah,
I'll make it happen, man.
Okay. Well, all right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking music with me.
Thanks for waiting. Sorry I made everybody late.
Hey, it ain't a show without you, man. I
sped as much as I could to get here on time for you guys.
Thanks for speeding for us.
Thanks for speeding.
It was for you.
For the children.
Casey Jones. All right. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye. Most abrupt ending ever. All right, good night,
Not really.
He was struggling because we went 6 minutes.